On me?
No, we're good. Got 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Is everybody ready? Let's do this.
Regular meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, Monday, October 2nd, 7 p.m. Bayer?
Here.
Briggs?
Here.
Coulter?
Here.
Hydrich? Holtmeyer?
Here.
Packey?
Here.
Reed?
Yes.
Wessels?
Here.
Please rise for Pledge of Allegiance. Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the council meeting dated September 18, 2023? Bayer?
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Holtmeyer,
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Wessels.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Heidrich. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The approval is approved. Next.
Approval and adjustment of agenda, including consent agenda. You have the Collector's Treasurer's Report Summary for June 2023, Investment Report for June 2023, liquor licenses for Franklin County Events and Rentals LLC and Wallace Petroleum Wallace Petroleum LC.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Heidrich. Discussion? Nope. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And the approval of the adjustments and consent is approved.
Priority items, mayor's presentations, appointments and reappointments, Board of Adjustment appointment.
Okay, guys, herewith submit for your approval the following for appointment to the Board of Adjustment, Samantha Cerruti Wacker, term expiring September 2028.
I'll make a motion.
Second. Motion by Heidrich, second by Patke, excuse me. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
The motion's approved. Next one, I herewith submit for your approval the following for reappointment to Police Department, Ian Ray. His date is effective on the 4th of October, expires 4th of October 24.
Motion.
Motion by Coulter,
Second.
second by Briggs. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved. Thanks, guys.
Public hearings, special use permit 610 West 2nd Street, short-term rental.
All right. Good evening, council. Your first public hearing tonight is for a request for a short-term rental, more commonly known as Airbnb. Both of these are the first applications to come in since the moratorium has been lifted. The subject property here is located on West 2nd Street, just east of Johnson in the shoe factory lofts. And you can see here by the aerial, it does have alley access and garage parking, as well as on-street parking in front of the home. It is zoned R2 overlay, which is what is required per the new requirements. And then that buffer there is that 150-foot buffer that we have now required for these new short-term lodgings to make sure they are too far or aren't too close together. Last month at their, this month at their Planning and Zoning Commission meeting, they did vote unanimously to approve it, and there were no comments from the public. So happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
No questions?
Council?
Okay.
Public hearing?
We need to open this one up to the public. Anyone in the audience now would like to comment? Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I need a motion to accept into the minutes,
moved.
please.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Heidrich. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's in the minutes.
An ordinance granting a special use permit to utilize 610 West 2nd Street as a vacation rental in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Holtmeyer.
Any discussion?
Second.
No. Any discussion?
Either
We
way.
got to vote individually.
Okay.
No discussion?
No discussion.
Okay. Now I'll read the ordinance. An ordinance granting a special use permit to utilize 610 West 2nd Street as a vacation rental in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed,
Yes.
Holtmeyer,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Coulter,
Yes.
Bear,
Yes.
Heidrich,
Aye.
Patke,
Yes.
Wessels.
By your vote, ordinance 3B is approved.
Special use permit 202 Stafford Street, short-term rental.
All right. Similar application just down the street at the corner of West 2nd and Stafford here. Is another property requesting short-term lodging. As you can see here, this one doesn't have alley access. If I have my laser pointer. That's right. I can point out that the subject property, they also own the property to the east, and so they do have quite a bit of on-street parking that is not in front of neighboring property along Second Street. So that was talked about at Planning and Zoning Commission, that there, even though they don't have a garage or alley access, there is a decent amount of on-street parking for the unit. And then again, here you can see it is zoned R2 overlay. These did come in very close together, but what we would do if they were within 150 feet, we would go with the first application, and then if that were to be approved, then this one would not be able to. But,
I think that would be
I
good.
thought I had a slide on here. They are over 200 feet away, so well outside the buffer there. So there's no issue with approving the previous one and this one as well. And Planning and Zoning Commission also voted unanimously to approve this at their meeting.
Discussion. Okay. And we also need to open this up to the public, please. Anyone interested in speaking on this one? Okay. No further discussion. Go ahead.
Motion,
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to accept this.
motion to accept in the minutes.
Second.
Motion by Patke, second by Coulter. All those in favor say aye.
Hold on, his name's Holtmeyer.
Did I, oh, sorry, guys, my hearing is bad.
Either way.
Okay.
I'll
Second by
speak in the mic.
Further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
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 It is in the minutes.
An ordinance granting a special use permit to utilize 202 Stafford Street as a vacation rental in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
Okay, by your vote, ordinance 7D passes, or 3D passes.
Citizens' comments?
Would anyone like to make a comment? Please step forward. Okay,
Report of department heads?
Good evening, council. I got two things for you. The first one's just kind of a like FYI, I guess. You approved the budgets, and in there for the engineering and building department, we had a few new vehicles going through the enterprise fleet management system. So we did order 3 new trucks and a Ford Escape. So moving ahead with those. And then the other item is a discussion on the landfill. So hopefully you all are aware that we had the landfill scale was down from August 10th to August 23rd, about 12 days. And during that time, we got some kind of complaints from citizens about being charged too much. It kind of brought up taking a look at how much we're charging by ordinance when the scale is down, and maybe even possibly issuing a refund during this period, since this was an extended time that it was down. So you're looking at what, during this time period, what the fees were. So it was the minimum $30 for, like it would normally be under a ton. So for automobiles, vans, and pickups, it was $30. Anything over that wasn't a Packer truck, a Packer truck's $800 per load. So anything in between there, a trailer, a dump trailer, something like that, it's $35 per cubic yard based on 100% capacity. So if they could tell, you know, it was only 3 yards or less, they're supposed to try and make that determination. It's a little hard for our guys to eyeball that, I guess, but that's kind of the scale that they go off of. So on the bottom there, a single axle trailer is 4.4 cubic yards, a dump trailer is 6.2. So that's kind of how they gauge. I think most things fell into the dump trailer category of the 6.2, so it was about like a $217 charge that we were seeing was kind of the common if it wasn't the $30. So, next one. So what that kind of broke down to, we had 459 tickets come in during that time. 198 of them at the top there. On the left column, you can see were the minimum $30. So we wouldn't, propose any sort of refund for those people. That's the minimum charge. There was 36 people that on their tickets we couldn't even decipher a name or a contact, so it'd be pretty hard to give them a refund. And then 11 tickets were actually, so after that, we, with Waste Connections, we've done this in the past where we look at their 3 previous tickets when the scale was working and just average that number, that cost, and then look at what they were charged when the scale was down and kind of, charge them that. So that's kind of what we did here. So if you went back on all these tickets and could tell that they had a history of at least 3 tickets, we would average that and then see what their refund would potentially be. So for 11 tickets, they were actually less than what they typically, or they were charged less than what they typically are on average. So that's the kind of the top category too, or up there, and then the next column down. So we had 36 that were in the small haulers. So their average history was $30, under a ton. But they were being charged well over that, probably 200, like I said, 217 seemed to be the common. There were about 40 that fell into, they were charged somewhere between 30 and, like 200 something. So they were undercharged, but not as bad. And then the large haulers, you can see, were overcharged as well. So those percentages on the side are kind of showing that. So the small haulers were about 86% higher than what their average usually is. Medium was 39.2, and the large haulers were about 44%. So on average, it was 53% that people were being overcharged. So you can kind of see, we brought in during this time period about $111,000. So if we refunded everyone based on their averages, we refund about $50,000 back. So we make about 61,000 during that time period. And we went back and just did, that's at the bottom now, it's just kind of like a typical 12-day period is about 72,000. So if you refunded everyone, it would be a little bit lower, but it would be pretty close to what we typically bring in that time frame. So, and just so you can see the scale to repair it while it was down cost about $27,000. So just to give you an idea. But so I guess our options, and kind of see what you guys think, is we can refund people based on those averages of their history and then pay that back to them. Or we could just say typically people were charged about 50% more than what they would typically do, and we could give everyone a 50% refund, or we could do nothing. I mean, we're pretty much following the ordinance, so it's not like we're doing anything wrong over there, but
I would say if somebody can give you an average, if multiple tickets
yeah,
that are
that's
typically the minimum or whatever,
right.
and then all of a sudden, I think that's a pretty good way to do it, is average 3 of their, most of the people come out there on a regular basis,
Right.
so they have a pretty good idea of what they normally pay.
Mm-hmm.
If he's got his trailer packed and it's $30 and then it's $245, yeah, he probably should get some money back,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So you guys are thinking just refund them based on their typical averages of the last 3 tickets?
How
For
hard
this-
is it
for
to
this time
automatically refund, or do you put it out there that if you feel you were overcharged, do you come back in and report that?
I missed it too.
Or do you
So-
automatically refund that?
Apparently, to do this, we're gonna have to write up a whole ordinance and list every single ticket on there and do this. So I don't know if we wanna really stretch this over a time period. We can, I guess we could give people a deadline, say if you felt like you were overcharged. Or is it just fair to, if we're gonna refund anyone, we should just pretty much refund everyone that has a history?
Can we give them credits?
That'd be harder to track. It'd be easier to give a one-time refund, I would think.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was definitely thought about, but I think logistically it would be a little bit harder to kind of track.
And the problem, Charles, I see, if you say, well, if you feel like you're overcharged, hell, everybody's gonna,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because why do you say it's gonna take an ordinance?
That's what Darren told me to do this, because we were following the ordinance. So basically, you're saying we don't want to follow the ordinance. You're going to have to say why, and you guys are going to have to approve that, so, for each person.
Can we just give them credit without doing an ordinance or something like that? Is that possible? I mean, I don't know.
create,
Their money back.
That's what Joe just said.
I just said,
Yeah.
create a lot of
Yeah,
work.
credit, no.
And there were, let's see, 60 tickets where there was no history. So then the question would be, we don't refund those people at all, or do we refund them 50%? Do we do, wait for those people to trickle in and say, hey, I think I was overcharged as well?
I would think they would.
Ticket, yes?
Yeah, but what he's saying is they don't have a previous ticket.
They just don't have a previous history, so we have nothing to base it off of. So,
Well, if you
Complicated.
can prove you're a regular and you have that average, you're not a one-time,
Yeah, if they say
Right,
something,
that
I think
would
you would
be-
say that. The
Yeah.
ordinance says we have to base it on your past history, and we don't have one for you.
the ordinance says nothing about basing it off of
Well,
past
but if we
history.
pass this.
a new
law,
ordinance.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
so you,
And this would just be like a one-time, adjustment ordinance, This wasn't like, we'll talk about possibly resetting how we do this next, but just for this one time, what do we, kind of think you guys want to do? Sounds like you want to give them a refund, but,
I've heard it from numerous people that it was just extraordinary cost.
Yeah.
And when we asked about it, it was like, well, this is what it was set in the ordinance, so we could. We have
and
to
that's
work
what we
with it.
always charge people when the scale's down, but usually it's only down a day or two, so people can kind of work around that, so.
Right.
I think that's why we're taking a look this time. This was a lot of work. I'll give Gina and Andrea a lot of credit going through all these tickets and trying to find a history on people. That took a while, so.
Sure.
will it
I
take
think-
the same amount of time to get them in the ordinance to pay them back 50%?
Would it take what?
Take time to get this?
No, I think going back, now that we have all the tickets sorted and everything, we just, it wouldn't be
Seems
too
like
difficult, yeah.
best result, just give them their money back.
Then we have to do an ordinance.
Well, I think we owe it to our regular customers to do whatever it takes to.
So everyone,
Right.
so it sounds like everyone with a history, we want to give them the difference between their average and what they were charged.
Right.
Everyone else,
Fair?
And can we do that this evening with an ordinance, or?
oh, I don't have anything prepared
It'll
or
have to be
anything.
wrote, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was just kind of get your feel, so then we
Ah.
could draft up an ordinance and then do
Ah.
that, so.
Our council doesn't work that fast, Mark.
So
We could probably pull it.
You're saying there's a chance.
So to Charles's point, the first three in the second set there, if we use those percentages to the right, and then the ones without any ticket history, if we did 50% rather than going to
Then
the
nothing.
maximum 84% on those without any history, does that seem fair?
I think you're right, Councilman. I think there's some question marks there, but those who have no previous records, we would offer them a 50% discount.
What we're after is Mr. Coulter's suggestion of the guys that are there all the time,
Right.
making sure they're taken care of in some form or fashion here, and that means you've got previous tickets. It's good to see, and I like seeing 15 previous tickets on the large haulers too, so it isn't just the
Yep.
previous three, and hey, we found out these guys are charging this, we better load them up,
Right.
so.
Very much so.
sounds good.
Okay, so that's what we're doing for this. The next one.
You want a motion to enter in the minutes, Sherry, or is that just information?
Do I need one more?
Thank you.
Okay. So then the question would be, obviously, we have a problem where overcharging people when the scale's down. How do we want to address that possibly in the future? So, like I said, the average was about 50, so we could go in there minus so these are the new fees, so we just doubled everything, correct? Just started yesterday, October 1st. So the minimum fee is $60, and then cubic yard is $70, and 16,000 for Packer trucks. So that's what the ordinance looks like for when the scale's down. So we could cut that in half, and that would generally help, people be closer, but it wouldn't be perfect, because there's a lot of people that come in with less than a ton typically. And
Has the
so-
scale ever been broken down for that long?
I think I asked that question, and no, this was the
It
longest
was
time.
pretty extraordinary.
Yeah, this was irregular, for sure. So we could do a fix like that. We could potentially just charge everyone the minimum 60, other than Packer trucks, cut theirs in half. We would lose a lot of money during that time, but, you know, I guess we would just take a look
make
at
it
it at the end of
easier.
the year and raise the rates again. Or potentially close the landfill, other than large haulers when the scale's down. Those are some thoughts. I don't know if you guys have any other suggestions.
Do we need to do this, you guys? You know, the chance of the scale breaking again is God knows what.
Well, if the power goes out, I mean, we've had those, I mean, yeah, typically it's a day
It
or
happens
two,
a couple
but,
times a year for a day or two, right, Tony? I mean, the scale goes down for a day or two a year. I mean, it always happens somewhere, sometime.
We do some maintenance,
Yeah,
usually for a day or a couple hours.
But it takes a lot of beating, you know, that scale
right.
gets a lot of beating.
So
on
you
it,
guys all think we need an ordinance, okay? Or something,
This one doesn't look too bad to me.
But we gotta
so you,
make a decision here.
so what, cut it in half for the,
Other than the minimum,
other than the minimum, you think?
and the Packard, right?
Yeah, we cut that in half as well. I mean, they were overcharged about 50% as well.
That seems like an easier,
I think if a guy comes in.
I think you'll still get
pickup
complaints.
Truck full of stuff, you're gonna charge him $60, you're gonna start seeing it in the alleys and, every place else.
Well, we already decided on
we already
that.
decided that.
I know, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Guys are gonna start dumping someplace where you don't want them to.
So this is different from the other one you were requesting, because this is based on our new fees.
This is based on the new fees. That was like a one-time for those people, a refund. This is going forward, so we don't get as many complaints, I guess.
And the other
or
one, though,
we're
was
trying-
based on old fees.
Correct.
Yes, right, yeah,
okay,
because now we're in the
Ah.
new fee
This is
schedule.
what we'll do if it happens again.
My opinion would be to cut the scale down pricing by 50% other than the minimum fee of 60. That stays the same, and everything else is cut in half if the scale is broke down.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
That'd probably be the
That's
The simplest
easiest-
one, yeah.
the
Seems
simplest
like
one.
the easiest thing.
easiest thing to do, because hopefully it'll never happen again.
Right, this would get us closer for when we're down for a day or two, and then hopefully we're not down for 2 weeks. I don't think we want to
No.
kind of have to do what we did
Right.
this previous time as far as going back and looking at all the tickets and stuff. So just trying to avoid that, you know, going forward and be fair to, a little more fair to everyone. Okay.
everybody okay with this?
Mark, you got a different suggestion, or?
Well, I mean, that's fine. I would rather just shut it down. If it's down, just shut the landfill. And then you don't even have to worry about all this calculations. You know, and if somebody brings a truckload of stuff out and if it's down today, they can bring it back out the next day, you know? Then you don't have to worry about, is it 50, is it this, is it that?
I think that's the hardest part for our guys out there is, you know, they get a line of vehicles and trying to determine is it half full, quarter full.
That's what I'm saying.
So they just go off, you got a trailer, this is what you're
Do that
charged.
Every day? I mean, they're doing our trash routes, do they empty every day?
They,
Packers would have to.
it depends. Sometimes they take it to their,
If we close the landfill for a day, Packer trucks couldn't empty.
I would say keep it open for the large haulers. I think that would be
Right.
inconvenient to leave it closed for them. That's what generates most of our revenue is the large haulers, so.
I just see your construction guys in town, got a dump trailer full, they drive out there, and they get to the gate, and they gotta turn around
It's
and go
closed?
back. I don't know. I don't disagree with you, Mark, that it'd be the easiest way to close it, but, man, I think you're gonna get more complaints about, hey, I was already there, then I gotta turn around, is it
I
there
would-
tomorrow?
I would
gotta
agree. I
Drive
would
back.
just hope they understand it's down for a day. I get charged a little more. You know,
I would
it works out.
think an option, but
Well, I mean, sometimes I go places and they're closed too, you know?
no doubt.
Just, things you gotta deal in life.
Well, it depends on if you got a trailer full of trash, or if you're
Right.
just going in to buy a gallon of paint.
Hmm?
It depends on if you got a trailer full of trash, or if you're just going somewhere to buy a gallon of paint and they're closed. Big difference,
Yeah,
you know?
I need that trailer tomorrow.
So what do we, Your Honor, are we looking for an answer tonight?
Oh,
on
I
what we
mean,
wanna
just
run
kind
it?
of personally for me, so I can draft
I
you an
understand.
ordinance or at least go in a direction. I mean, we can have further discussions if you want to.
Yeah,
but-
Charles, it sounds like, you know, Nobody wants to go with the closed?
Yeah, it sounds like to me it's
Go
gonna
with
be
middle
the,
one and
cut it in half, keep the minimum, cut everything else in half, and then we'll see where that takes us, and,
Bring that ordinance, and if something comes up and we want to amend it, we can do it then. But you
right,
can bring
then
the
we'll,
ordinance that way.
we'll look at it again if we have issues going forward. Okay,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles.
something to think about. I'd shut her down.
Any other department heads?
They can go somewhere else.
Can we go back to 3D, please, real quick? Could someone introduce that ordinance, please? For 3D, which was the special use permit for 202 Stafford Street?
I'll introduce it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Ordinances and resolutions, an ordinance establishing the salary for the city administrator for the city of Washington, Missouri.
Hopemar.
Introduced by Hopemar.
What is the salary, what's today's salary, what Mr. Lamb's making?
$2.50.
Right.
This year, he will make $130,000, 107.3.
No, what is his current, what is he making before this raise?
Decrease that by 5%, whatever that number is.
Decrease it by 5%.
Yep.
Should be about 123,911.
Rings bell?
Sherry, you'll do it for half of that?
You gonna get your cut? I think he's definitely worth it.
So this puts it in line with what we had budgeted.
City administrator makes approximately $123,000 currently.
Right.
Thank you, Shauna.
Yeah,
Puts it in line with the
With everybody else.
3% cost of living and up to 2.
Yep,
So
that's what I gave him. Further discussion? Okay,
Okay.
go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance establishing the salary for the city administrator of the city of Washington, Missouri. Reed?
No.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
yes.
Hydrich?
Nay.
Patke?
Yes.
Russells?
Aye.
Passed.
By your vote, ordinance 7A passes. 7B, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an agreement by and between the city of Washington, Missouri and Napier Construction for the city auditorium roof replacement project and amend the 2023-2024 budget.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
Good evening again, council. To answer a few of your questions from the previous meeting, so the roofing system at the auditorium is a Conklin roofing system, 4 inches thick, as we mentioned, someone mentioned here. The question regarding if we had to cut a hole in the roof, Tim Egan said that'd be no problem. They'd patch it in, happens from time to time. Warranty is 20 years, likely would last longer with the roof that's on there now. And then I think someone asked, what do we do in the future if we need a new roof? Just like any roof, he said, if we had a huge hailstorm, it was, we had softball size hail, then it's likely going to have damage just like any other roof would. The smaller stuff, likely not. But it is a 2-coat system, so it's the spray coat of the foam, and then it's a polyurethane foam, and then a second coat, which is a harder thickening coat that you can color, which would be green. There's R30 insulation would get us to R30, and then I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but you could, so in the 20 years, if it is up in 20 years, you can recoat it again. It would be good for another 20 years. So.
Just go over the same material? Wayne?
He said recoat. I did not ask. I should have.
Would they
You have to
shave?
tear off the old coat, or if you just put it on.
Wonder if
turn
you
it
could
off.
just shave that layer off and you just
Recoat it.
probably.
Maybe.
Sounds good. You need to.
That was quick answers. Thanks.
Anything else?
Sounds good.
Any further discussion? Okay, go ahead.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Napier Construction for the City Auditorium Roof Replacement Project and amend the 2023-2024 budget. Reed?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
By your vote, 7B passes. C, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Patke Restorations LLC for the City Auditorium masonry repairs and amend the 2023-2024 budget.
Briggs.
Introduced by Briggs.
And again, this is the restoration of the front elevation of the auditorium, caulking of settlement cracks, and then cleaning and sealing of the masonry, which is in dire need of it.
Further discussion? Questions? Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of agreement by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and Patke Restorations LLC for the City Auditorium masonry repairs and amend the 2023-2024 budget. Reed?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Abstain.
Wessels?
Aye.
By your vote, ordinance 7C passes. D, please.
An ordinance accepting the extension of the contract per the terms identified in the initial contract by 1 year at the amount quoted from Oakley Fertilizer, St. Louis, Missouri, to purchase bulk rock salt by the City of Washington, Missouri.
Heidrich.
Introduced by Heidrich.
Good evening, Council. Per our discussion earlier, this is our new contract carryover from last year for our salt bid at $80.42 a ton.
Further questions? Okay. Thanks, Tony. Go ahead, Sherry.
An ordinance accepting the extension of the contract per the terms identified in the initial contract by 1 year at the amount quoted from Oakley Fertilizer, St. Louis, Missouri, to purchase bulk rock salt by the City of Washington, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
Aye.
By your vote, 7D passes. E, please.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an easement deed by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and S&A Developments LLC.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
So this one kind of goes with the next letter there for Du Bois Center accepting the minimum improvements. So one of the steps is they had some sanitary that wasn't in any easement, so we needed to get this easement deed before we could accept those minimum improvements. So
Discussion? Questions?
Where exactly is the Du Bois Center?
it's like N Sports down that way.
Oh,
So it's
I
been
got
going on for a while. There were some issues with the lift station and getting that all worked out, and then these sanitary pipes kind of out of the way of the Mach 1 construction that was going on, so they had to reroute some stuff. So it's kind of been lingering since 2016, so.
I'm gonna put a Chinese restaurant in, so they have to do that.
Someday.
So they finally got all the boxes checked, so we could accept it.
Further discussion? Okay, go ahead, Sherry.
That's what it was called.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of an easement deed by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and S&A Developments LLC. Reed?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
By your vote, 7E passes. F, please.
An ordinance providing for the approval and acceptance of minimum improvements and maintenance for Du Bois Center subdivision in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Patke.
Introduced by Patke.
So like I said, we got the easements finally figured up, and we got the as-built and some other things taken care of, so now we can accept the minimum improvements out there.
Just, how close is all that going to come into that new development there along South Point, down on Old 100?
I mean, it'll be on
Will
the
those
other,
tie in at all?
it'll be on the other side of the creek, and I think there's a separation there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't tie together at all? Okay.
I think the floodplain's a little too wide there for them to get sewer across.
Yeah.
Further discussion? Okay, go ahead.
An ordinance providing for the approval and acceptance of minimum improvements and maintenance for Du Bois Center subdivision in the city of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri. Reed?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Patke?
Yes.
Wessels?
By your vote, 7F passes.
Mayor's report.
Exciting news about AIB. Is Wayne still here? That was great, you guys. That's great for the city. Can't wait to see what comes out in the paper, John. I need to apologize to you guys for not keeping you better informed about what's going on in the future. That's my fault. Darren and Sal and I have been very consumed by something that I can't talk about, we can't talk about in a public setting, but you guys all know what that is. And that's not an excuse, but it's a reason. So I need to do a better job of that, and I will. So, thank you.
No city administrators report, but we do have executive session. Council comments? Nope. All right. City attorney's report, public vote on whether or not to hold a closed meeting to discuss personnel, legal, and real estate matters pursuant to section 610.021 RSMO 2000. Reed?
Yes.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Briggs?
Yes.
Coulter?
Yes.
Bear?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.